Alright, welcome to today's overview of a very cool plugin called Flux Mini 2. This is a automation plugin at its core, specifically designed for filter automation, which when you want to integrate it into your music can be a real drag. It can take a long time and then you have to duplicate it and move it, so it's a lot easier done in a plugin. So what we're looking at here is a basic animation grid with horizontal being time, vertical being amplitude, and then our control bank on the left. So we have cutoff, resonance, and amplitude. This is for our filter bank, which right now is set to low pass. There's also a band pass and a high pass. There is a sync, which is your timing control. The faster the sync, obviously the faster it's going to go. This can be in either snap to the grid, so it will constrain to your tempo, or it can be free and constrained to a time constant. A mix knob, bring it in and out, and then these buttons here are great for rapidly scaling your rap up and down. I think it's a little redundant because you could also just change the sync knob, but this is if you want extra variation, so if I wanted to make a second version be different. And then there's a clear button. So let's talk a little bit about building a graph. We'll just initialize it. So there's several controls. There's the big red dots, which are what let you move nodes around, and then there are the purple dots, which are what let you bend the curves. And then sometimes you can even get this sort of two-point Bezier control, and do a little something like we'll do something like this. So right now I have a big old pad picked out from Augmented Voices, and it's cool, I can't lie. It's a great sounding instrument, but it could be more exciting. So let's see what happens when we turn this on. We now got some fluttering to make it more dramatic. Slow it down. And so that's on just the regular filter settings. If I set this to low pass, so right now, the only thing this was controlling was the volume. This wasn't actually filtering it or anything like that. So if I remove the volume automation and instead change this to the cutoff automation, it's a slightly different sound. I could go the other way and set this to a high pass. And then I could change the resonance. The resonance can also be automated. Which allows for all sorts of really cool control within the device. There is a way to have it trigger on MIDI or just have it play straight through. This can be really useful if you're playing multiple notes in one, like if you're playing a chord and you're playing different notes. It can be pretty useful for making sure everything stays in line on that. There's a small bank of presets. One of my favorites being this one. Nice little sort of dance, trance, however you kind of want to frame it. So that's a brief overview of the plugin itself. I will say this is a very difficult plugin to use as like a broad general mix plugin. I personally wouldn't recommend it for that. I don't think it's well suited to being on the forefront for a long time. Things like this can get really boring and actually sort of overdo it for your listener. It's much better suited as ear candy, so I have thrown together this little example. These blue clips are where it's been used, and I will show you exactly what that sounds like. So this one is using my favorite preset. And then over here we have a slightly different example where this red line is the automation level for the mix. So basically saying I only want it to control, it's the dry wet knob. And that sounds like I have to unsolo it. So that's your little fade in and fade out. And then the same up above, just with drums. So now I'll play it for you, just give you a quick little example of what it sounds like using it in a mix. So that's how it sounds in a mix. I think it's pretty cool for sort of breaking up monotonous sections, adding a little bit of movement, really catch your listener off guard and keep them involved, throw them a little bit of that ear candy. So that is a brief overview of Flux Mini 2. Now it is called Mini because there is a full version called Flux 2 available from Calum Audio, but that you have to pay for. This is what you get for free, and I gotta say, for being free, it's pretty powerful. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.